Alright, news is that we're live. So this is Arabian Nights. Now, you might be thinking, why is a game that's not called Prince of Persia in the PoPRuns marathon? Well, I guess we'll just find out. So, this is a game made by a small French developer called Silmarils, and they made this game back in like 2000 on their own engine, and it's the best Prince of Persia game you'll ever see. So, just gonna go to a cutscene right now.
For your beautiful eyes, Ali. Come closer, darling. It is I, Melissa, your sweet princess. How happy I am to see you again.
Say your prayers, you scum of the earth.
So, this cutscene is totally optional, but I always like showing it off in a run because it's a quality cutscene and it really explains what this game is about. It's a really janky game, so here I'm just gonna hug this wall and turn the camera until I'm vibrating through the wall. Hello, there we go. And once I'm far enough into the wall, I'm just gonna turn around and then I'm gonna fall. And once I'm at the bottom of the level, I will respawn back at the top. And when I go through the bottom of the level, I also pick up an item or a cutscene. And the order in which you pick up items or cutscenes, you can actually manipulate it. We will actually have to do something about that in a bit. Right there, I had to backflip into the cutscene trigger, otherwise it would softlock right here. It's a bit unfortunate because this cutscene used to be really good when we used to do the old route. But unfortunately none of that anymore. It's a sad state of affair, honestly. But the old route is like 50 seconds slower, so I mean, it's a pretty big difference. So this level is just, you jump out of bounds by doing a really sharp turn while jumping. And then you just follow the roofs and you just fall down there, and that's the first episode. So now we're in the sewers. Now you might be wondering who was that mysterious lady. She's one of the Sultan's daughters. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. After I beat up the first boss. Now we used to joke that the sword was extremely useless in this game, but we found out that this game has a stealth mode and it's really broken, as you're gonna see soon.
Has managed to escape. Be very vigilant. He is very fast and clever. The master will not be pleased if we fail. No.
So that's the first boss. We're just gonna run past these chumps here, make a save just before the door, then I'm gonna jump forwards once and then to the side a few times, and now I'm gonna double tap shift and just stab this guy to death. Now, the reason this works is probably because they assume that you would never be able to do this. Hold on.
Here you are at last. Quickly, let's go back and see my father. You know, I'm protected by the good genie who created me, and no one can kiss me before marrying me. Should that happen, the good genie would immediately take me back to my father.
Oh.
Well then, give me a kiss, my pet. Then meet me at the palace.
So the way that boss skill works is, they probably assume that you would never be able to enter that room without the boss being aggressive, but if the boss isn't aggressive, you can just backstab him like that, and by maneuvering around just the right way, you can just get behind him and stab him to death. Now, we just saved the first daughter of the Sultan. All the 5 daughters of the Sultan are turning 21 today, and if they don't marry before they're 21, they will be cast out to the streets, and the Grand Vizier will take over. Now, we'll meet the Grand Vizier in a little bit, but first we have to do a few more levels, and in this level we're just gonna have to collect a few pieces, because for some reason the genie that created the 5 daughters of the Sultan, he's stuck in a wall and we can't progress until we get him out of the wall. Don't ask me how this works. I honestly... Oh, that was... Oh. So, this is a really well made game. The game just crashed. Wouldn't be Arabian Nights without a crash. Oh, it's gonna crash continuously here, because this level in particular, for some reason the game really doesn't like that level. And there's just something completely wrong with it. So I'm just gonna have to continue reloading that save until I can actually make this jump. There we go. Yeah, so this level is using the same architecture as a later level, and for some reason this level, it's just so big that the game can't handle it or something. So if there's one point the game is gonna crash in, it's either this level or the level later on that reuses this exact layout. I honestly don't know why. Okay, we're gonna be in this snake pit. I'm gonna have to take care of these snakes before I'm gonna continue, because if I don't, they will try to chase me. And there's more snakes down the corridor here, and I need to kill them before they kill me from this position. And if I don't kill the snakes I killed earlier, they will likely just come up in the corridor there. And this game has some really weird auto-aim system. So if those snakes are coming in from the top, you might be aiming at the snakes here, but it would just auto-aim up. And you can do nothing about it.
Thank you for freeing me, my good friends. We shall meet again.
You know, I was just thinking about it. I think we never actually meet the genie again, despite him saying we are gonna meet again. We skip a lot of the story actually in this, even though this is the with dialogue run. Okay, so this jump is a bit deceiving because you actually have to jump on top of the ledge here, and then you should be able to make it up to the ledge there. If you just run up these stairs, you're not high enough to actually grab onto the ledge. And why is it not working? Ali, can we do this jump, please? The audio just got out. Hello? I swear, this jump normally doesn't give me this much trouble. I'm not sure why the music just got out, but yeah, it just does. Oh, there we go. I'm just gonna be scaling the walls here. This is actually more tricky than it looks. What the heck am I standing on? Let's just say I've never seen that happen before. And right now I'm just gonna be jumping out of bounds again. And like I said earlier, as soon as I hit the bottom of the level, I will respawn back at the top and keep on going forwards and pick up some items. There's not really anything useful in this level, so we're just gonna wait until we land back in bounds. And luckily it shouldn't kill us unless we fall too far, but that's never happened. We usually land right there. Now this is supposed to be another boss, but we land behind him, so he's not aggro. So we just do the same thing, we just sneak behind him and pick up all the stuff he's dropping. I put away the sword right there. There's a good reason for that. We're gonna be picking up the flute in this level. The flute is extremely broken. I'll get to that, but what the flute allows us to do is actually jump in midair. But if you have the sword out while trying to jump in midair, sometimes the game will just lock you into going straight up instead of straight forwards, and you're basically locked when that happens. Oh, this is actually a really good spot to land in, because we need to jump into the next cutscene, and the next cutscene is right over there, where the flame is. But if you're just falling, it's likely that you'll get into the cutscene and die. So now we have to do Simon Says with our second future wife. And yeah, this is basically the point where there's not really much going on. We just have to press buttons according to what she's doing. There's like a tiny cutscene in front of this to explain all the moves, but I skipped that because it's just boring. It's literally explaining what's happening here. And this should be the last move.
Quick,
No!
let's go see my
No!
father so that he may unite us.
Oh no, the cutscene skipped. Okay, so that happens. The problem is that cutscene sometimes skips. I do not know why. But when it happens, you miss out her saying, "Oh, I just met you, let's get married." Also, right here, I was moving my mouse to the left, and this gives me cutscene control right here, because Ali is stuck on the stairs. Now I can do some fun stuff. Hello, first wife. Can I kill you?
He's incredibly lucky. But he will know the day he stole my little musket from me.
Perhaps you wish to say something, Grand Vizier?
So, this
His Majesty that
this is what you can do when you get cutscene control.
and that seducer had one day left to ease your most majestuous sorrow.
Yes. Thank you for bringing us back to the harsh reality, most precious Vizier. My other daughters are out of the palace. I feel it. Make haste, my son, and my future.
So the usefulness of stealth mode was discovered pretty much right after the HDQ run Gotti did at the start of this year. I think it was the start of this year, actually. Yeah. I was reading through the manual just for shits and giggles, because the run had happened and I figured, okay, let's just, you know, see what the manual actually says about some stuff. And I was reading through the controls, and it's like, yeah, you can press double tap shift to actually go into stealth mode, and I'm like, what the heck is this? So I started experimenting with it, and I think a couple of others as well. And we found out that you can kill regular enemies by just stabbing them. Where am I? Oh, I'm pretty much close to where I need to be. I just went a bit too far. But yeah, we were experimenting with it and just killing regular enemies with it. And they were just dying in one hit, and I was like, okay, that's funny. Enemies dying from one hit with a sword? So at that point I actually, you know, put it down, because I was like, yeah, there's no way you're gonna be able to do this on bosses. Then somebody else, I don't know who, came along and was like, yeah, if you do this and this, you can get behind the boss and just kill him instantly with stealth mode. And that basically broke open the route completely. Because the route used to take about 42 minutes, and now it's like 33, I think, or maybe just below 33 minutes. So this level we're gonna be meeting the gardener, and the gardener, he is actually the brother of the Sultan, and there's a bit of backstory about the gardener. He was actually the one who found the magical lamp with the genie in it. But it was actually the Sultan. He stole the magic lamp from the gardener, and the gardener is a bit salty about it. I should be landing about now. Ah, there we go. Hello, gardener.
Good day, Lord Gardener.
I'm the new apprentice.
I do seem awfully young for this profession, lad. It's just not like in the olden days. Well, to start with, go get me some pear pips at the fruit garden. I need them for my experiments. The password is at the Aqaba Fate plant hydrangeas.
So did you all get the password? Because I did. The voice acting is legendarily bad though. Or at least the audio quality, I should say. I know Kotti used to have a lot of trouble with actually hearing what he says, but I think he says at the Aqaba feast plant hydrangeas, which are like a type of plant. So we have to do some actual gameplay and puzzles in this level, and it involves this heavy bucket. If we somehow could find a way to completely skip the bucket, this would actually legit save probably enough time to get a sub 30 run, if I actually did some effort. Because this section is just carrying the world's heaviest bucket around, and we need to just keep on carrying it to this place over here and fill some jugs with water.
Password.
At the Aqaba feast, plant hydrangeas.
Yeah, it's good. You can go.
Best accent ever. Okay, so this cutscene here, if I don't press escape, this will just continue on indefinitely, but I think it's there to explain why there's banana peels on the ground, because after a while there will be banana peels right here. Now, right here I'm just gonna kill this guy, because as soon as I start transporting water in the garden, that guy becomes really pissed at me, because I'm just, you know, walking around with a bucket full of water. Like, I think that's illegal or something in this version of Arabia. But we need to fill water, these water jugs, and as soon as you do that, both guards become aggressive. There's a guard in the archery tower, right up there. He's gonna try to shoot us with some arrows, flaming arrows at that. But unfortunately, he's a bit incompetent at actually shooting arrows, so he should not be able to hit me at all, as long as I keep moving. Yeah, water is heavy. Super heavy. It's the heaviest element in the universe. Well, there's no banana peels on the ground. I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, he must like saving water, but if you look at the garden here, there's so much water that I can't imagine that they're actually lacking water. Oh, now there's some banana peels. Good. So my explanation wasn't for nothing. And you can actually slip on them. So take note of the gate right here. It just opened, and there's a big scary tiger behind it, which we totally have got to fight after this. That's really what's gonna be happening. So the gate closed in between the cutscenes, and also I just took out my sword, but right here Ali is gonna have to take out his sword again for some reason, and I have a bit of cutscene control, so I can just spin around and have some fun. But yeah, I don't understand why he has to equip the sword again. But yeah, all that work was for two things. We had to get the tasty fruit and the pear, which magically drops after we actually go to this episode. I don't understand why, but that's just the way it is. Don't try to find logic in this game, you will find none.
Here, Lord Garner, here are the pips.
Oh, they're not very big. It's just not like in the olden days.
Well, it don't smell too good round here.
That's normal, kid. I'm trying to create the flower of 1,000 scents. It doesn't work every time. Instead of hanging about like an old magpie, go get my hoe. It's in the chest in the copse. Here's the key.
So we have to do more fetch quests, and then we can get back to glitching the game completely. So I just need to grab a hoe from the garden and the watering can, because we need to actually make the plant of 1,000 cents, and to do that we have to stop climbing. We have to combine these seeds in the right quantities, and there's like a scroll somewhere with a riddle on it that explains all the quantities. But it's basically just a password, I guess. So now that we have the plant of 1,000 cents, we just go up to this wall and jump up until we get to the ceiling, and we just jump through the ceiling because it's Arabian Nights and ceilings, they're pretty meaningless, just like walls. And we're just gonna continue jumping up this way. We used to have to do a really annoying puzzle in this level, but at some point I found out that if you press T, the flower spawns, and we just decided, okay, we're just gonna use that because this part of the puzzle is just really annoying. And the room I'm gonna be picking it up in should be right about here, yes. Now I pressed T multiple times, so I'm probably picking up this flower more than once. And if you do it correctly, the game completely glitches out as well, which is amazing. And now we just have to navigate our way back to where some other stuff is, like the Sultan statue. And this wall right here is not solid, so I can just go through it. And this wall you just have to zip through like this. And the reason we go up here is we have to pick up the passport and the cactus. Now, the flowers we've been collecting, we need them to actually make a bouquet, because our third and upcoming wife, she wants a beautiful bouquet, and then she wants to marry us. Right here I did a quick save and quick reload, and this manipulates the order of cutscenes and items that you're gonna pick up when you hit the bottom, so this triggers as the first thing instead of as the third thing in the list of things to trigger.
You're wonderful. You are worthy of being my spouse.
So yeah, we just give a bouquet of exotic flowers to somebody and she wants to marry us, which is amazing.
Signed by the Grand Vizier himself. You look a bit nervous at the moment.
It's understandable. That lousy Black Moon sect is infiltrating everywhere.
But just what is this sect?
Hey, I'm no informer. You want information, you've only got to go see the town guide. Ahmed, open the door.
So this level right here is reusing the same level set that crashed earlier. Now, this level used to be extremely long, but we found out that if you just backflip into this area right here, you just skip a bunch of cutscenes you would otherwise have to watch first. It's the Irma skip, because we have to talk to Irma, and she's gonna be showing up real soon.
Ah, finally. Irma, the
This is
red-haired-
totally fine. She's totally standing in front of us.
The guide told me you could tell me about the Black Moon sect.
Ah, that Mustafa. What a blabbermouth. He's not the only one, though. The tom-tom player. He's a talker too. In bed. He's a former sect member. I think he could inform you.
So you used to have to run around this level and talk to like 3 different people to actually continue in this level. But because we can just trigger cutscenes from going out of bounds, we can just skip all of that. And we also cut out a shopping trip with it. And the shopping trip alone takes like 50 seconds, so it's a big improvement. Now we need to fight this guy for a better sword, but you're supposed to like talk to him, and then he's like, yeah, I'm willing to give you my sword, but only if you beat me in a fair sword fight. So, you know, we're just gonna have a fair sword fight by throwing bombs at him, because, you know, that's how you do.
You were very lucky.
Yes, I was.
But I keep my word. Take this weapon, and don't let me see you again.
I was very lucky that he accepts the fight when he gets a bomb thrown at him. So normally you're supposed to actually pay him gold to do it.
Don't tell me any stories. I know you're a former member of the Black Moon set. And don't waste my time, otherwise I'll denounce you to the Grand Vizier's guards.
Oh, sure. Not so loud. I was kicked out of this sect a long time ago for incompetence. What do you want with me?
Show me the passage to the sewers.
Okay, let's go.
So this cutscene right here, we used to get enemies following us. But in the old route we would run around past a bunch of enemies and they would get aggro. And they would follow us around throughout the entire level. But since we completely changed the route for that level, that doesn't happen anymore. Which is kinda sad, because that was actually kinda funny to always see. And we're back to a sewer level. In this level, we actually need to make sure we do not touch the water at all. Because if we do, I'm gonna get poisoned, and I don't have an antidote. Supposedly, you can survive being poisoned, but I've never bothered with it, so I'm not gonna. Also, I picked up the magic turban right there. It allows us to cast fireballs much faster than normal, especially the big ones. But we don't really use magic anymore, so it's kinda useless. But I'm picking it up for one reason and one reason only. If I pick it up, the last cutscene won't crash. And you want to see the last cutscene. Right here, I'm just gonna throw fireballs at that guy and he drops the key that we need to get to the end of the level. And luckily he doesn't aggro until we get into the room. And right here I did the same thing again with the fast save and fast load. If you do that, you can manipulate the order of in which things are triggered in a level. So right now we're apparently gonna pick up another rainbow flower, and then it's gonna trigger the ending of the level. I'm not sure why it triggered the rainbow flower right there. Don't ask questions, this is Arabian Nights. So right here we're just gonna flute jump up to the ledge of this arena right here. And it should be coming up right about now, yes. So the guy right at the bottom here, he's the boss. But again, because we come in through an unorthodox way, we can just backstab him using stealth mode. This particular boss fight used to take, I want to say, between 1.5 and 2 minutes, because you had to throw big fireballs at him, and that is actually really slow to do. Right there I had to quick save and quick load again, just to manipulate the cutscene order.
All my papers are in order.
Otherwise I would soft lock.
You can't get out without a mount.
So now we have to talk to this guy. I'm just gonna go through his dialogue once, because he basically says the same things twice. And it's really boring, and I just can't be bothered with it.
For protection against the barbarian invasions of the Hittites. The 4 obelisks that you can see behind you are much older. They were brought back by Nuruddin III, the Magnificent, during the Egyptian campaign. They measure 10 meters high, and their transport necessitated more than 200 slaves and 50 camels. It is said that on account of this journey, all the camels of the region have short legs. But that is only a legend. I thank you for your attention. Even more so, because you are my 999th visitor. Come again.
So yeah, after all that boring history about town, he's like, yeah, I'm looking for a 1000th visitor, and he's gonna get something. But I'm not gonna go through him again because it's like another 45 seconds of dialogue and I can't be bothered with that. So here's the hottest speed tech in the world. You skip cutscenes by manipulating audio sliders. This should be good. And because we talk to him again, he gives us the rental voucher.
Sorry for you, but I want a voucher for the hiring of a dromedary for 1 week. All expenses paid.
Mustafa had his 1000th visitor. You can take the beast. He's ready to go. I filled him up for a week. Have a good trip.
I love how he's just standing there with dollar bills in his hands. Oh, we got good at guard RNG. So, note how the button to open the gate is on the outside of the city, not on the inside. So, when this place gets raided, it's gonna be really well defended. Now, we're in the final episode of the game, and there's gonna be a boss fight in this level, and then one more. I think that's it. But before we get there, we actually... Oh, I can turn around in that cutscene. I didn't notice before. But to get there, we need to get out of bounds here. If you go through this the normal way, this level is extremely long. But yeah, we're just gonna be jumping in this direction, and at some point there's gonna be a boss room coming up. And the boss in this level is kind of like a Medusa. You're supposed to pick up some kind of ring that protects you from like the stone effect that the Medusa does. But we never actually get to that point, so, you know, we have to make our own rules, which, you know, involves going behind the boss and then going into stealth mode, because that's how you roll in this game. Come on, get... probably below the wall right here. I need to fall just a tiny bit more. Okay. Ali, can we jump forward? Yes. So this is kind of a tricky thing to set up, because you have to land in just the right spot to actually get through, but not get owned by the boss as soon as you get through. Come on, Ali. You're not against the wall this time, so you should be able to jump through this floor. So this is probably one of the most difficult things about this game, in all honesty. Just getting through a freaking wall. Oh, there we go. Okay. Please don't stun me. Whew. Okay. We're good.
Have you got an obsession or what?
So,
this is the last wife we're gonna be saving.
now I'll have
Now-
all the little princesses just to myself. I think I'll just take a little stroll over to the merchants. You can never be too sure.
Now, I mentioned that there's 5 wives in this game. We never saved the 4th wife, but it's all good. Just trust me, don't worry about it. Now, right here we're gonna be fighting the Grand Vizier, because, hey, it turns out the Grand Vizier is evil. Who would have thought? Not me. Oh no. Right here there's a tiny chance Ali gets stuck on the stairs, and this cutscene skips, and it's really annoying.
Those damned Black Moon sect fanatics. It is I who shall replace him from now on. I find we see you much too often these days, and I just wonder if you're not the cause of all our problems. In fact, you represent a threat to the kingdom, and that threat must disappear.
Oh, we're doing this again, huh? Oh no, I made a mistake. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw some knives at him and he's gonna be stunned long enough for me to continue throwing knives. And he just dies right there. And we pick up the parrot seeds. The parrot seeds are actually crucial to actually getting out of this level. But yeah, that's the Grand Vizier. Now, you would think that the Grand Vizier is the ultimate evil in the game. But it turns out that's not the case. Remember the gardener we talked to earlier? Now, it turns out that the gardener is actually the guy behind all of this. Because he was kind of salty about his brother, who is the Sultan, stealing his magical lamp from him. And he's just really butthurt about it, so he turned evil and just said to the Grand Vizier, hey, let's overthrow the Sultan. That's not where I'm supposed to be going. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's reload. Hold on. Oh wait, I'm right here. Okay.
You've had it. You've had it. The game's over.
Where am I? Okay. I can salvage this because I can just jump through the floor, but I need to actually regain a bit of jumping control. And there we go.
The game's over.
So this is a secret bookcase. We can just push it aside. Now I need to be a bit careful with using the parrot seeds because I can soft lock here. Oh yeah, the boss tech is completely different. It's much faster now. All thanks to the discovery of stealth mode. Because, you know, this game really needed a stealth mode. So this is the final level. You're supposed to fight the gardener in this level, but... you know... if you've watched a bit of this run, you know what's gonna happen. We're just gonna go out of bounds and go through a wall. And... that's time. I'm just gonna keep the cutscenes playing until they're done, because the cutscenes at the end are like the best thing ever. And here's the Sultan, who technically is the real evil of the game, but since we're on his side, we don't get to decide that.
Thank you, young Ali. Now I must return to my place on the throne. As I have the same powers as the princesses, you must embrace me, so that I can be beamed to the palace where I'll be with my daughters. They belong to you henceforth, and shall be your wives. And I appoint you Grand Vizier in place of he who failed at the task. Come on, just another little try, son. If that's not too much to order.
That prickles. I'll make up for it with my little babes.
So had I not picked up the magical turban, the game would crash right here. I don't know why. It just does. And this is the reward for actually beating the game. A really psychedelic dream with our 5 wives. Let's see, who's the 4th wife we never saw? We saw her, I'm pretty sure. Did we see her? I'm not... I never know which one is the actual wife we never actually see. So this is Arabian Nights, and yeah, this game, I mean, it's technically not a Prince of Persia game because it's not in the series, but it's so incredibly similar to it, so I hope you all enjoyed whatever the heck this game is. And funnily enough, I believe next up is the always lovable Robbie with the actual Prince of Persia version of Arabian Nights. So that should be that should all be good. I think I'm good to switch. I don't know. Yeah. I was gonna stuff, but that never really happened. I might still look into it, but for now I'm just gonna take a break from this game because I've done so many runs of this game this year that I'm kind of bored of it, which is kind of weird, but I'm sure I'll get the itch in like January or February. Maybe I'll do the voice activated run then, who knows.